What up, YouTube? It's your boy King Cobra. So I ordered some more tactical soap. Appreciate that. Got a couple bars left. Oh yes, the silent treatment. Big shout out to the fans. We donated money to the PayPal. I got me a bottle of Bird Dog Peach whiskey. Freshly cracked. Oh yeah. We doing a drink combo. Cheers, folks. It's the weekend. Every man in this entire world hates the silent treatment. Ladies, you want to fix the problems with your relationship? Every time your man pisses you off, oh no, you won't say shit. You'll wait until you guys are having a fight about something completely different. You'll wait. You didn't notice her hair, so she's pissed about it. Honey, why are you doing it for him? Do it for you. You and your wife are having an argument over who sings this song and that song, and then she'll just come in there like, oh, this is just like the time you didn't notice my hair. You're such an asshole. And it's just like, what? This has nothing to do. Okay. Now sometimes, and this is why men don't bother communicating half the time. It's because if you're gonna get pissed off and give them the silent treatment, you know how incredibly frustrating it is for men when you're trying to make your woman happy. You're trying to get to the bottom of the argument, trying to try to resolve this issue like mature adults, and she just fucking scowls at you and doesn't say anything. It's like, oh boy, someone's not getting laid tonight. No, it kills me. You got this chick and this dude. They're at a marriage counselor. Like I tell you what, Doc, me and my wife have been having communication problems. So the question I want to ask is, do either of you listen? And how many times does she give you the silent treatment? Oh, the glorious silent treatments. Now, being married comes with its challenges. First couple of years, it's fun. It's brand new, it's fresh. But after 50 goddamn years of being married to the same goddamn person, this is why you see old people who gripe at each other when they're married. Like Walter from Jeff Dunham said, yeah, you know what oral sex is for me? What? She yells, screw you, and I yell, bite me. We are chilling like rockstar villains, drinking some Bird Dog Peach whiskey and some Mountain Dew, 21 and up. Yeah. But fellas, you with me on this? The silent treatment sucks. And you're sitting there saying it through gritted teeth. Honey, I want to fix the problem, but I can't if you won't fucking talk to me. No, imagine if men did this crap. You'd never hear the end of it. Why can't you grow up and be a man? Stop being so immature and talk to me. Let's say that to her. Ho, 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 ho. Say it to her, and you're going to get an earful. How is he supposed to know what the fuck is wrong with you if you won't talk to him? You're sitting there. Your wife is sitting there pissed off at you, and you don't know it. That's just one of those stereotypes in marriage you should eliminate. Because what are the keys to a beautiful relationship? More sex, less fighting, more love and respect, and more communication. Just those things alone, or as much intimacy as you can achieve. I'm serious. Those are the things that will literally give you a happier marriage. And if you want to increase your chances of getting some of age pussy, check out Tactical Soap. Link description box below. Coupon code King Cobra. I used my affiliate link and my coupon code to order some today. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that. Because, ladies, ain't it frustrating when you're with your man, your other half, and whatever you're pissed off about, it ain't getting resolved. You're just getting madder and madder. So say something. And fellas, don't just look at her like, oh my God, she's nagging at me. Huh, here we go. Nag slag alert. This is why fucking us dudes, that's why we don't talk to women about this shit. Because half the time you're gonna blame us for it when half the time it ain't even our fault. And then the other half is just like, you won't even talk to us. You're giving us the silent treatment. And you might hear her say a couple words like, my mother was right. So any guy will tell you that you need to learn when your girlfriend gets pissed off to recognize the signs. I mean, you know, getting pissed off and angry, not exactly hard to tell, right? But you're better off staying single. Oh, sure. Having a girlfriend now might be fun. But just wait. You piss her off. Being single is sucky because you're lonely, but the payoff is fucking sweet. You don't gotta deal with fucking nagging bullshit and drama. All of her fucking bitchy female friends going, well, I don't like him. Or her telling you, I don't want you hanging out with your friends. Isn't that always interesting, YouTube? Every time you and your buddy Chad get together and hang out and do stupid shit and be guys, she throws a fit about it. I don't like it when you hang out with Chad. And you decide to grow a pair of balls and be like, yeah, well, I don't like it when you hang out with your friend Stacy. Every time you guys get together, you trash talk me. I know you do. It's not even like that, okay? You'll talk to Stacy about our fucking problems, but you won't talk to me about it. I'm supposed to be your other half. Does that sound familiar, YouTube? And don't you dare tell your woman she can't hang out with her friends. Oh, God damn it, you'll never hear the end of it. She can tell you that, but you can't tell her that. Remember that, fellas. Nah, when you realize all the bullshit that you have to put up with just to make a good relationship work, all of a sudden, hey, being single ain't so bad. You learn to wait more patiently. Like, hey, I'm gonna pull on over to Chatterbait, jack off to this really hot underage chick with some nice titties and a pretty face, and got it going on in all the right places. I get done jacking off to her, I go outside, have a smoke, come back in, that's the end of it. Sure, I don't get to cuddle with her afterwards or whisper in her ear, I think you're the prettiest. But she's not going to get mad when I jack off to some other chick. All right. As a dude, you pretty much will spend your entire dating life chasing it until your dick no longer works. And then you got to take Viagra and shit like that. Oh, that's good whiskey. You're pretty much going to spend your entire life with one woman until your dick quits working. You can bust a nut, but you can't get hard. Holy. And people are like, yo, you better get laid, Josh, because it'll quit working if you don't. Fuck you. That's why occasionally jacking off to a hot chick on Chatterbait, they'll keep it working. But yeah, the silent treatment. Oh boy. Your woman is pissed at you. And then she wants to go to her friends and say, our communication has really gone through the roof lately. I mean, he won't even talk to me. Gee, I wonder why. Because men don't want to fucking sit here and play guessing games. You know how women argue? They it's a combination of the silent treatments. They just save it. They save it. And then when they're in an argument and they're winning the arguments, they bring up all the times you pissed them off the other time. Remember that other time when? But when they're losing the argument, they will bring up your insecurities. So you call them a cunt or a slut, a slag, a whore, a bitch, etc. And then they get pissed off and, well, I know what I said was insensitive, but there's no reason to call me names. And now you're sleeping on the couch for the next 2 weeks, fucking jacking off to some hot chick on your phone and then clearing your browser history. Maybe if you're lucky enough to be next to her in the same bed when you lose the argument, you're still jacking off. Now, when a woman says, I'm going to ground you from sex, how stupid is that? Because she wants the dick just as badly as you want the pussy. So why do that to each other? I get a girlfriend, she tries pulling that crap. You know what I do? Fucking jack off while she's sleeping next to me. Oh! And then maybe, just maybe, get it all over her back while she's sleeping, just to be an ass. She'll wake up like, what the fuck? Oh, babe, that's so gross. I'm like, oh, my bad, sorry. I don't got a scope on this thing. I'm gonna get a Kleenex for you. And she'll be like, nah, fuck you, asshole. I got it. Ah, fucking, what did I get with this piece of shit? No, I wouldn't actually do that, allegedly. Or maybe I would. Yeah. No, my excuse would be, babe, I'm so sorry. You just look so beautiful laying next to me. I couldn't help it. I got a heart on it, and you ain't gonna take care of it, so I took care of it. Did I get some on your back, honey? I'm sorry. Oh, screw you, asshole. Yeah. No, I want to wait patiently. Play it cool and wait patiently. Women will sit there and say they want us men to make the first move, but as soon as we do make the first move, it makes us look thirsty. And one thing you should never do is bitch at a woman about gender-based roles because you'll never hear the end of it. Even though it's called gender-based for a reason, because both genders deal with it. There's a method for dealing with rejection. It's called the back off, jack off method. And I know I'm totally referencing Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown, but it's the truth. You back off and then you jack off. You see what I'm saying, YouTube? Or diddle, whatever. Be like, you know what I'm saying? You're in the privacy and comfort of your own home, and you see a cute chick you want to ask out at the supermarket. You're like, I want to give her a ring and talk to her, see what she's doing. Like, hey, you like guitar players? Because I'd rock your world. And before you go to make your move, she answers her phone. Oh my god, hi, baby cakes. And you're like, she's taken. Because who else would she be talking to on the phone like that? Hopefully not her brother. Hopefully not her brother. That'd be weird. Trust me, fellas. At first, you may think that the silent treatment is um is awesome because you don't gotta deal with the fight now, but it's coming later. And ladies, don't do that to yourselves. Don't do that to yourself, ladies. All it's gonna do is fucking aggravate the situation. No, seriously, ladies, don't do that to yourselves. What does that accomplish? Nothing. You not saying anything doesn't accomplish shit. Uh, uh, all it does is make it worse. Because when there's a lack of because when the relationship has a lack of communication, it can fall apart. It does. It's the truth. Hanging out with some peach bird dog whiskey. So next time, fucking next time you and your wife are fighting, and she gives you the silent treatments, you could try pandering to her bullshit, playing the guessing games. What I would do is just let her have her moment, let her have her silent treatments, and point out that this is a waste of communication in a relationship, and then just walk away. Let that sink in. You know how frustrating it is when you gotta ask her female friend why the fuck she's pissed at you? And yeah, that's what kills me about it. Because God forbid you tell your buddy Chad about your fucking lady problems, she would lose her shit. As a dude, if you were to bring one of your guy friends into the fight or the situation, she would lose her shit. She'd be like, "How dare you talk to Chad about it?" It's like you think I don't. You think you know what I'm saying? You think she ain't down at the salon getting her nails done by some beautiful black woman named Pepper, who's large and in charge? Mm-hmm. Sitting at the beauty salon, getting her nails done, gossiping to Pepper about all her bullshit. Like, why do they call her Pepper? Because she's salty as hell. And she ain't taking nobody's shit. And the husband walks in, and he's just like, "Oh, I see what this is. It's an excuse for you to get daytime drunk and get your nails done." And it's like, "You wouldn't understand," says the wife. "Pepper is just amazing, and you're an asshole. $10 a morning mimosa, busting out these crystal champagne glasses, filling it with pink champagne and orange juice. Like, ooh, I've heard of being bougie, but never boozy." Okay. No, the best way to handle your neither, yeah, The best way to handle that, silent treatment. Well, when you're ready to talk about this, I'm here for you. And just walk away. Don't sit there and ladies, don't do that. Okay? That shit gets annoying real quick. That might that might be cute when you're like high school and you're first starting out the dating scene, but when you're a grown ass adult, fucking act like one. When in the history of history has the silent treatment worked? Hmm? No, go ahead, I'll wait. You're at a restaurant. Waiter, waitress comes over. What can I get you? You don't say anything. You just glaring at the menu like, I'll come back in a few minutes when I see if you're ready to order. After about 40 minutes of sitting there and not saying anything, they're gonna be like, look, you need to pick something or leave. We have other customers who would like to sit in our establishment. It's like, do women secretly crave drama? YouTube? Or are you just trying to prolong the fight? If you're gonna go to your if you're gonna prolong the fight or talk to your fucking best friends about it, go see a marriage counselor. When when most of today's marriages are ending in divorce, well, no, it's the truth. Your girlfriend starts bringing up your insecurities. It's because she's losing the arguments and she's trying to piss you off. So what you do is you bring up her insecurities and you just keep throwing it in her face until she calls you a fucking asshole. And then what you do is, honey, we will discuss this when you're calmer. You give her the same fucking line she give you. And then she might turn around and say, well, you won't have a real conversation with me because you're not a real man. attacking your masculinity. Don't even respond to it, fellas. Put the towel on your shoulder and walk out of there because you won the fight. Shouldn't relationships be based off of less fighting and more sex? I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Doing shit for each other because you can. Doing shit to make you happy. The sex is a bonus. But freaking doing stuff to make your wife happy because you like seeing her smile. You like seeing her laugh. She gives you an amazing head afterwards. That's up in the air. Every married couple does this. The wife is pissed off. Silent treatments. Every married woman or girlfriend has done it at least once. How are you supposed to fix the problem if you won't talk about it? That's the thing of it, YouTube. And fuck Nick Fuentes. I'm like, it's not that hard to get laid, dude. You got the right dating scene and the right circumstances. But then I see the way Nick Fuentes talks, and this guy is an absolute fucking piece of shit. Oh, but Cobra, it can't be that bad, can it? Just wait. Yeah.
I've said I do know many of your views on women, which I find abhorrent. I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with you in any capacity on that front for obvious reasons.
Figures.
But I actually went into this reasonably not.
Hunter Avalone posted a video, "Women Shouldn't Vote," as said by Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes goes full incel. Jesus Christ. Nick Fuentes is the kind of asshole that makes Trump and Trump supporters look bad. All the nasty negative stereotypes of Trump and his supporters. Well, Nick Fuentes is literally the walking stereotype of that.
Knowing your broader, views on things, and so I don't really have an opinion of you, if I'm honest. But I was saying to Elijah, it's interesting. I think you're being very respectful, and I think that's really nice because people make you out to be this, assassin that's going to just stab everybody.
I'm just asking questions, but I will say you do seem to be really respectful, which is nice. Stop, Sydney. Stop. You're literally cucking to the guy that just said he would take away your right to vote. He's a respectful Nazi. Ooh. So Nick Fuentes recently had a conversation with Sydney Watson. It's just like two idiots fighting. It's unfortunate to see.
Do you think Sydney Watson's an idiot just because you don't agree with her politically? Is that it? Anyways.
Just kidding. It's actually highly entertaining. Anyway, let's hear from Sydney Watson as she has a little chat and gets to know Nick Fuentes. Known woman respecter and woman understander. Do you want to get married?
Yeah, I want to get married, but more out of necessity of like having.
You're gonna make a drinking game out of this, YouTube. It's Friday. If you're a known woman understander and woman respecter, anybody who says they respect women but also says they shouldn't have the right to vote is the biggest fucking two-faced piece of shit. So join me, YouTube. Yes.
Producing a male heir is really the whole point.
9 seconds in, we already have some fucking medieval take here from Nick Fuentes. I really just need to get married because I need to have a male heir to my throne.
Oh my god. So cringe, dude.
Swill I king and crown with my sword.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just observing. You can keep going. Continue.
Poor Sydney Watson. She already looks uncomfortable.
She's like, we can keep going.
No, because I mean, I would prefer to get a handle on what you
Uh-oh, Sydney Watson's getting triggered. She's like, shit, is this really the side that I want to be on?
think from your.
The thing of it is, Hunter Avalone, is that the radical right, they're not all like this. The radical left will lose their shit. Like the left will lose their shit when we throw the democratic stereotypes their way.
That's very
before I
Chinese of
say
him, though.
anything.
You know, just only men, so he doesn't want any female children. It's very Chinese. Yeah, no, I think they're definitely they're awake on this question. You know, I mean, as far
Holy
as like
shit.
Well,
marriage
it's more
goes,
about population control.
They're awake on this issue in China. Don't they have mandatory abortions? So in 2016, China ended the policy, which led to forced abortions. Well, it's a good thing that that policy was done away with, Nick, because it almost looked like you were saying they were woke with policies that were leading to mass abortions. It's not very conservative of you. Oof.
there rather than, you know.
well, and
rid of
it's
women.
it's like the old world stuff about like a dowry and like, you know, gendered stuff and all that. But you know, at least for me, it's sort of like a pride thing. Like I want to produce a male heir to take on my name, take on my legacy, and all that. And you know,
Take on
marriage
my-
is sort of
Take on my
pursuant to
name
that
and legacy. I too one day hope to have a child that gets banned from Twitter.
goal. But you know, I don't know about this whole prospect of like living with a woman for the rest of my life. Like, you know, it sounds good at first. It sounds like kind of fun or interesting. You don't have to do laundry. You know, you don't have to worry about kind of taking care of the house. But
Oh, every time Nick Fuentes says something sexist or misogynistic, take a drink. That right there. That right there. Fuck off. Calling Nick Fuentes a cunt is not a strong enough word. Just because you have a woman in your life doesn't mean shit, dude. You expect her to do all the work. Now, if you've been paying attention to my gender rants, I've often said that women and men should share these responsibilities. You'll grow closer as a couple if you cook and clean together. Like, how long is this video? 49 minutes. I'm gonna end up polishing off that entire bottle of whiskey by the time this is done. Jesus Christ. Like Nick Fuentes can fuck off, dude. Couples should clean the house together, cook together. Think about it. The chores will get done faster if you have help doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, fuck off, dude.
Then the prospect of just like
Even his like understanding of marriage.
The look on Cindy Watson's face is kind of like, why am I here? She looks bored and kind of pissed off at the same time. Like, who is this guy? Fuck Nick Fuentes, dude.
You know, being married to one woman for the rest of your life, it's kind of nice. Though. I mean, I'll get sandwiches and the laundry will be done. The floor will be mopped. The bed will be made. It's like, Jesus, dude. Now, the question is,
The bigger question is, what are you gonna do for her, huh? It's the truth. It is the fucking goddamn truth. You want your wife to make you sandwiches? Well, what are you gonna do for her? You gonna eat her fucking pussy out for 2 hours until she fucking squirts all over the bed and all over your face? You know how a woman's had a good pussy job? When you're stuffing the sheets in the washer and dryer and your face is sprayed. Got that pussy squirting like a spitting cobra. You're gonna stand there and go shopping with her when she runs into her best frenemy, Cheryl, at the store. And then you do that fake kind of halfway kiss, like where the lips are like kind of nah, nah. It's not even a real kiss. It's just like a little peck on the cheek. Oh my God, hi, mwah, mwah. How you been? Oh my God. Cheryl, you look amazing. Even on the back of her head, she's like, you're a slut and I hate you. And of course, Cheryl's got to stand there and fucking brag about how awesome her life is, how she has the best husband, how they're so rich and well to do. And in the back of your woman's mind, she just wants to fucking punch Cheryl in the face, but she can't because, you know, that's battery assault. And you know, the whole fucking car ride home, you're going to fucking hear it from your wife. She's gonna be sitting there fucking bitching and be like, fuck Cheryl. She thinks she's all that in a handbag and blah 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 blah. And then you, the husband, are gonna be sitting there going, when she says, why can't we have nice things? Why can't you work more hours? Well, why don't you get a job? I have a job and we're both trying. That's my point exactly. We should be happy with what we have. Bigger question is, honey, if you hate Cheryl, why the fuck are you going over to her house on Sunday for brunch? Or why the fuck did you invite me? Because you secretly hate her husband as much as your wife hates Cheryl. Gotta brag about all his trophies and his golden days. He was a star quarterback for his local high school. Motherfucker's got a Camaro sitting in the garage. Talking about how his wife lets him have a man cave and fucking will suck his dick whenever he wants it. and you just want to punch that fucking smug fucker in the face. Isn't it weird how, like, the most insufferable, snobby, insanely self-centered, egotistical pricks end up with each other? Isn't that funny how that works? Like, you could be a really nice person, but also really fucking vain and shallow. So it's like you end up with someone who's also equally as nice, but also equally as vain. Yes. Because that's what real marriage looks like. When your wife, for whatever godforsaken reason, accepts the fucking friend invites from her best friend and female frenemy to go over to her house for lunch, dinner, and have wine, and their house is nicer than yours, and you gotta sit there and be fucking talked down to like you're stupid and poor because, oh, God forbid, right? Fucking one of them's a college graduate. To be fair, YouTube, not everyone who went to college is like that, but you know the stereotypical college graduate attitude. Oh, I went to Harvard, therefore I'm automatically better than you kind of shit. Like, fuck that shit, dude. Thank you that not everyone who went to college is like that, but the ones that are can go fuck themselves. The stereotypical college attitude of, oh, you went to college and you have a degree, so you're automatically smarter than everyone in the room. Fuck yourself. Not everyone who went to college has that attitude. Thank you much, but that's all I'm saying. When Nick Fuentes is sitting there saying he doesn't think women should have the right to vote, can't imagine why he's not getting any pussy. Well, unless he fucks himself, but that doesn't really count.
Any woman gonna want to marry you, Nick? Laundry, you don't have to worry about kind of taking.
And Nick Fuentes can fuck off. Sit there and call me a whole bunch of names. But at least I've had pussy, bro. I've got to squeeze titties that were of age and consensual, and they feel nice. How can I describe the feeling of getting some sweet of age pussy? It's like a warm, smooth, it feels really good on your dick. Like, you think masturbation feels good. Oh, dude. Nick Fuentes, man, you have no idea how good it feels to get some pussy. Even though I haven't had pussy in 4 years, I can still remember what it feels like. Oh, does it feel good? Especially when you're in the fucking shower, dude. Oh my god, shower sex, amazing. Like at one time, the last chick I was dating, she was fun. Shower sex is fucking hot. Got the hot steamy water dripping off. We get done washing each other. We're all squeaky clean in the shower, and it's just like, woo. When your girlfriend bends over in the shower and you just take her from behind, fucking grab her hips and start plowing that pussy, or from the front, it don't matter. Shower sex is the shit. Want to save water and spend more time as a couple? Yes.
The house, but then the prospect of just like it goes on and on and
Sydney's
on, and it's
face.
decade after decade after decade, and I don't
See, it's funny that he makes it sound like that. It goes on and on, decade after decade after decade. It shows such a fundamental misunderstanding in marriage. And it's really, really ironic that Nick Fuentes is supposed to be the traditional conservative, and he is shitting hardcore on marriage, while I, the libtard SJW progressive degenerate, am here to defend marriage. He makes it sound like this 30-year thing is so tedious and miserable. But over those 30 years or longer, you're gonna grow closer and closer and closer to that one person and get to know them better and better and better. But
Thank you. Fucking preach, Hunter.
if you just want to get married so someone's there to do your laundry and give you a male heir, so basically like your mom that you can have sex with,
Ugh.
okay.
I don't know how thrilled I am with that whole idea.
Just looking at Sydney Watson is kind of like this. Like you can see it in her eyes. Sydney Watson's like, who the fuck is this piece of shit? Why is he on the show?
I'm kind of a solitary individual. I like my privacy. I like my autonomy, and just the
Good
idea.
thing you're a solitary individual, Nick. It's a good thing, since you're kind of a social outcast for being a neo-Nazi and everything, and that unfortunate little white supremacist shenanigan you had going on. And you're also an outcast online. Tough for Booger Nick.
Of like nagging GF, nagging wife. It's a little nightmarish to
Do you
me.
have a good relationship with your mom?
I love
I remember this, YouTube. I remember this interview with Sydney Watson interviewing Nick Fuentes. And as soon as she said, like, instead of just calling him a piece of shit and a pig and a fucking asshole, the cleverest thing she says, hey man, how's your relationship with your mom? And what Nick Fuentes says next is, oh, of course I do. Well, then what? Oh my God, Nick Fuentes is the worst.
Yeah, I love my mom.
Is your mom a stay-at-home mom? What does she do?
Yeah, so she works now, but when me and my sister were growing up, she raised me. She quit her job to stay at home and raise us.
And what's your
full
sister
time.
like? Do you get on with her?
Yeah, she's my twin. She's probably the opposite of me. She's more calm, sort of introverted. Yeah.
Okay. If you have a great relationship with your mother, who is a female, then why would you refer to females in general like that? It's the truth, Nick Fuentes. It's the fucking goddamn truth. Fuck you, dude. Would you take away your mom's right to vote? Seems how you have such an amazing relationship with her. What's the worst Nick Fuentes can say? Well, King Cobra JFS, at least I'm not bald. Yeah, well, at least I've gotten laid and I have more respect for women than you do, you fucking piece of shit.
Get along.
Do you respect women?
Before we get into the women respect,
Yeah, because it's so obvious. Nick Fuentes respects women. I couldn't say that with a straight face. God damn it. It's the beautiful sound, isn't it? Respecting women, backing off, playing it cool, and being patient. If you don't respect women, then like, you know what I'm saying?
question. you gotta appreciate Sydney's question. Do you have a good relationship with your mom? That seems like a pretty solid question to ask because hearing Nick, his perception of women sounds so incredibly fucked. The nagging wife, the nagging girlfriend. Then again, I guess this guy does kind of have his head stuck in the 50s, and that was a very common trope back then.
But you just don't want them to have any rights.
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't
Okay.
say they shouldn't have rights.
But if I'm understand,
You didn't say that, but you just. Oh my god, this guy's a fucking idiot. This guy's a fucking idiot. If you didn't just say they shouldn't have the rights, then why did you say? Just contradict yourself, fucking. Ah. Like women got tired of saying that. Mm. I'm already feeling a little. I'm already feeling pretty good. Oh, but women got tired of us men saying you're just nagging, so they came up with their own term. They call it mansplaining. Oh, you're just nagging. Oh yeah, well, you're just mansplaining. You can just fuck off.
question correctly, if you don't want them to vote or drive or have an existence akin to what they would have in, say, Saudi Arabia, you would say that in large part, then they don't really have rights.
Well, I would say probably the ideal is something more like Afghanistan, if I'm being totally honest. Like
And
recent,
so what's the
recent
difference between
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan then and Saudi Arabia?
Like the brutality, I guess it's like a little slight.
So I don't know what Nick is doing here, but well, that's not true. I get the sense that what Nick is doing here is realizing that he's in a very bad optical corner there. And so he's trying to troll his way out a little bit by becoming really outrageous, saying we should be like Saudi Arabia, they're more brutal, or Afghanistan or whatever. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this fucking incel pretty much just admitted straight up that he doesn't think women should be able to vote.
So make the situation worse, you dumb motherfucker. Ugh, shit. Betty White, Bob Saget, fucking Louis Anderson, Meatloaf. It sucks when all these celebrities that are dying this year so far. But that's just part of life, dude.
Brutal. Of course, Taliban rule, not American rule. I'm talking about, recent
So you want
Afghanistan.
men to have the same treatment as women have under Taliban rule in Afghanistan.
No wonder why this piece of shit can't get a girlfriend. Not only does Nick Fuentes think that women should not have the right to vote, he also thinks that they should be ruled underneath Taliban fucking Sharia law bullshit. And he wants to call himself an American, but he supports the Taliban. You see this motherfucker? Fuck him, dude. He's the worst.
Something approximating that, yeah,
Okay.
because, you think about the Taliban and, what they're able to achieve. Here you have these guys with nothing but, some
Sex is not a need, it's a want. And I will continue to say that until my dying breath.
arms and rags and 20 years, and they were able to defeat. Is this just like a joke, or is he serious? I mean, again, Nick Fuentes is very woke to the idea that conservatives and radical Islamists have so much in common. It's actually really crazy. Um, it's sometimes hard to tell how serious he's trying to be because he's admitted to using trolling to try and mask his true beliefs. So most likely he's being a bit hyperbolic and biting some bad optics bullets. However,
I'll give you the keys. Think about picking up chicks as driving a Lamborghini. It's fast, it's fun, it's luxurious, it's loud, it's exotic. Ooh, it's mysterious. You want the keys to that Lamborghini? Tactical soap, waiting patiently, being cool, and respecting women, and just be yourself. If you're a good motherfucker, and chicks will pick up on it, dude. I'm gonna recount one of my sex stories. Let me just take a sip of this here funny juice. Because the whiskey makes me I don't need whiskey to be a funny motherfucker, but so back in my old apartment, my buddy Alex Anderson came over with this chick and some dudes and some vodka, and we're all sitting there getting drunk, and one thing led to another, and this chick was like sucking my dick in front of everyone. Shit you not. I was like, "Do you want to go to the bathroom where we can have more privacy?" And nope, she was comfortable in the bed. I'm like, "Okay, do your thing, man." And every guy in the room was just sitting there going, trying not to look. And I look over at Alex, and he went like that. I'm just like, "Yeah, man, and fucking yeah." Uh, she gave some pretty good head too. First thing she said when she whipped up my cock was "nice cock," and then she just starts going to fucking town. This is about 2 weeks after my last girlfriend broke up with me. Well, I squeezed her titties through her shirt, and they were big too. I was just giving her like little squeeze. I'm like, start playing with them while she's sucking my cock, and then I fucking nutted in her mouth. Didn't mean to, but once you felt your first pair of age consensual titties, you never forget the feeling. They're warm and squishy and soft. Mm. And the first thing I said was, "I'm so sorry." And she just went, swallowed it, and said, no big deal. And the dudes in that room were pissed. They were like, "How come that goth dude, that goth wizard freak, he's getting more attention from her than we are?" Alex said, and I quote, "Because he's not afraid to be himself." It's the truth. You ever like titty fucked a chick? I'm serious. Taking your throbbing hard cock, squeezed it between your tits, with a boob in each hand. It's fucking awesome. You ever see chicks that could like suck your dick while you're titty fucking them? It's fucking crazy shit. I've heard of it and seen some of it, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, chick's got a flexible neck. Which, to be fair, like ladies, unless that's your kink, women don't get anything out of that except a big fat load of cum all over their tits and yeah.
End of the day, he does think that women should be treated probably akin to something how women are treated under the Taliban. Because what Nick Fuentes wants is an authoritarian, fascistic, highly religious, and hierarchical system. That's what Nick Fuentes wants ultimately. Also,
The thing I would ask Nick Fuentes is what if women had the same view of men as you do towards women? That men should have no rights, that women should rule. You'd lose your shit. You'd be like, that's sexist, nah, 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 nah. But you have no problem saying this crap about women, you fucking incel piece of shit. That's the thing of it. I'll continue to respect women regardless if I'm getting pussy or not. It's just the right thing to do. It shows that I'm a decent guy. I'll try to be at least.
mainly white. Let's not forget that one. Feet, the largest military in history. I think that has something to do with the fact that they weren't like distracted. You know, they weren't distracted with the kinds of things we are in America. They weren't being nagged. You know, they weren't being bossed around by women. And, you know, now they've got this.
The look that Sydney Watson just made.
Get that one. Feet, the largest military in history. I think that has something to do with the fact that they weren't like distracted. You know, they weren't distracted with the kinds of things we are in America. They weren't being nagged. You know, they weren't being bossed around by women.
The look Sydney Watson gave right there, she just kind of looks up like, why am I here? What is the point of this? She looks like she wants to laugh and get mad at the same time, like, are you fucking kidding me? Shit. Those Delta 10 Delta 10 e-liquid kicking my ass. Getting me a little altered. Sydney Watson looks so uncomfortable, dude. She looks incredibly uncomfortable. She's like, I'd rather be home with Murphy giving doggy cuddles and getting licked by my dog in the face kind of thing. Why the fuck am I here? Yeah, Sydney Watson's dog Murphy is a Vizsla, and I know the joys of Vizsla. They are awesome dogs.
You know, now they've got this society where there's this brutality, like I said, this old world sort of order. And you bring up like voting. I don't see really voting as a right, if I'm being totally honest. Like,
Fuck off, Nick Fuentes. Fuck off, you fucking motherfucking piece of fucking, you fucking asshole motherfucker. Hey, guess what, Nick Fuentes? This is America, and fuck you, because that was one of the rights our country was founded upon. You stupid motherfucker. the right to vote, although originally, the right to vote was only for men. They didn't give women the right to vote till much, 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 much later, which is kind of horseshit if you ask me. But women should still be treated like women, but have the same rights as men. Is that too much to ask for? Is it? Old school chivalry YouTube. Life sucks. So we drink whiskey and we get over it. But Nick Fuentes is the worst, dude. This guy is a real fucking piece of shit. And it's like, no wonder why you can't get a girlfriend, bro. Maybe if like Nick Fuentes were born in like the 1950s, or like born into where he was an adult in the 50s, he'd fit right in. Now the 50s had some sweet cars, man. The rockabilly music in the cars. You know, the slicking your hair back like a greaser kind of thing. And you could pretty much smoke wherever you wanted, and no one said shit. But outside of that, the 50s pretty much the racist undertones, and yeah. No, Nick Fuentes can fuck off YouTube.
Jesus, it's just like a crazy fucking position after crazy fucking position. Do you think Nick Fuentes is white? I know that he's actually Hispanic, which makes it even funnier because he would be kicked out of his own ethnic state. So the Taliban was able to succeed because they weren't being nagged and bossed around by the Lamin. I don't even think there's any response to say, just okay, buddy, you can think that. Cry yourself to sleep tomorrow night. Dream about that while you're cuddling your fucking blow up doll. I don't know what to tell you, man. Why is he always smiling? I don't know. It makes him look really insincere. Maybe that's his goal. Because he wants plausible deniability.
You know, now they've got this society where there's this brutality, like I said, this old world sort of order. And you bring up like voting. I don't see really voting as a right, if I'm being totally honest. Like, it's not just women. There's a lot of people that really shouldn't be voting anymore.
Such as.
Holy shit. So you got Nick Fuentes, who supports the Taliban, telling people that they shouldn't have the right to vote.
You know,
You say
maybe
black
people
people?
that don't own property, young people, people that work like retail jobs. Like, as an example,
I don't know what's worse here. The fact that like Nick Fuentes is just spewing out so much insanity, or the fact that
Poor Sydney Watson is just like, why
Watson,
am
like
I
she
here?
doesn't know what the fuck to say. Because Nick Fuentes is insane. She's like, what? But lo and behold, Sydney, I bet if you scroll down in your comment section, there are going to be some people that are actually going from your content to Nick Fuentes' content. I think I got to listen to it again. I'm sorry. Yeah, I kind of feel for Sydney Watson. She didn't have the repeat button or the option of subtitles.
society where there's this brutality, like I said, this old world sort of order. And you bring up like vote.
I can appreciate the fact that he's much more mask off now about his beliefs. Like the brutality and the old world order. I mean, he's not even hiding the fact that, like, this is obviously some kind of a fascistic, authoritarian government where, again, hierarchy and order is what's prioritized at the top.
I don't see really voting as a right, if I'm being totally honest. Like, it's not just
So keep in mind, Nick Fuentes, he doesn't see voting as a right. Let's think about what that means. Let's see how that looks in contrast to his
Nick Fuentes is the dumbest piece of shit, I swear, dude. You don't think voting's a right? Then I don't know. Then what are our troops fighting for overseas? Our freedom and democracy, which comes with the freedom to vote. Let me explain this so Nick Fuentes will understand this. Let's say we lived in a fucking country that was a dictatorship, and we had a female dictator, female overlord, and Nick Fuentes is sitting there like, "Oh, I don't like it." Well, too bad. You don't have the right to vote, so you can't choose. That's why that's there, dude. You fucking stupid, bigoted piece of shit. Oh my god, dude. Ugh. 'Cause that's what your idea. I'm trying to explain this in a way to where Nick Fuentes will get it and be like, I'm a piece of shit. Maybe I should rethink my core beliefs, kind of thing. Yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna change anytime soon. But nah, dude, Nick Fuentes is the worst, dude. Fucking piece of shit.
hand. He calls himself America First.
You want to say America first, but you support the Taliban, and you think that voting shouldn't be a right. Here's your sign. Instead of Jeff Foxworthy, here's your sign. Here's your sign. Instead of Bill Ingvalds, you might be a redneck. It's you might be a fucking retard if shit. And I grew up watching Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White, Jeff Foxworthy, and Bill Ingvald Blue Collar Comedy Tour. And they're all funny as fuck, but my favorite out of the four would have to be Ron White. That motherfucker. They call me Tater Salad. I was very blessed to have seen Ron White perform in Casper. Mm. And me and homeboy Scotty went to see him live, and well, I wanted to give him a cigar. I had some Black Cherry Delicioso Robustos. I had a couple of them for the show, and I wanted to like walk down the stage and be like, just hand it to him while he's live, but I chickened out because some asshole in the front was heckling him, and I couldn't stop laughing. So it was glorious, dude. You ever get the chance? Ron White's a funny motherfucker. You did it. You caught the tater. Ron White, he quit drinking, I guess, because might have been worse than me, I guess. I still think Ron White's a funny motherfucker, even if he quit smoking cigars and drinking whiskey, which I don't think he's quit cigars. I don't know or care. I still think he's a funny dude. Kind of off topic. The yellow blur. The Bill Ingvall has the "You might be a redneck." Well, I did a bit on that. Only I changed it to say "You might be from Wyoming." Yeah, and it's all like Wyoming related shit. If you've ever tried to go into a Walmart while drunk off your ass on your local brews, you might be from Wyoming. If you need a tetanus shot to drive your pickup truck, you might be from Wyoming. If your pickup truck has more lift than a 60-year-old woman with fake tits, you might be from Wyoming. If you've ever pissed on a rattlesnake while camping, you might be from Wyoming. If you have more guns, trucks, and dogs than you do exes, you might be from Wyoming. Yeah, you want a blowjob? Come on down to Wyoming. The wind sucks. No, Nebraska sucks. Wyoming blows. God damn, that's good whiskey. But dude, after all the beer I drank earlier, plus all them eggs and this whiskey, I'm definitely feeling good. I got a tummy full of hard boiled eggs and beer, and this whiskey is just doing it. That's funny because I said doing it. Something Nick Fuentes ain't doing. I will take a 4-year dry spell with a man as myself. I'll take my 4-year dry spell over Nick Fuentes's bullshit. Because even if I'm not getting laid, the thing I realize about women and minorities and other races is we're all adults, we're all people, we're all trying to make it through, we're all in this together. So, like, as long as you ain't a fucking sick fuck, why go out of your way to harass someone? That's my whole bit right there, YouTube. Like that person over there is black and they're trans and they're gay and sometimes non-binary, and it's just like, cool, man. As long as they ain't a fucking sick fuck, who gives a shit?
The right to vote is something that is an American right. This is in the Constitution. So
No fucking shit. The right to vote is in the Constitution, and this dude calls himself an American. Oh my god. Oh my god, YouTube. 1 second. Jesus Christ, this guy's a fucking idiot. I'm like, dude, you can't get laid. You haven't had pussy. You want it, but you can't get it. I get it. It's frustrating. But you think you're gonna get laid just because you're somewhat recognized? You would have to meet a self-hating woman who's like incredibly sexist towards her own gender, and I guarantee you this fucking idiot would be happy. Like, I did the combination of those two vape pens at the same time.
This is not America first anymore. That's something you could call him out for right there and just call out the hypocrisy of his fucking grift. You call this America first. You call your show America first. You have the gall to associate your fucking sad incel face with the American flag or the name of America? Over here in America, pal, we have the right to vote.
Yes, here in America, we have the right to vote and the right to carry guns. It is in the Constitution. YouTube. I love America, man. It's my country. It's land of the free, land of the opportunity. I'm a proud American to the day I die. Fuck it, dude. You don't even know. When I build my goddamn dream house, I'm gonna get a flagpole just so I can fly the American flag. If anyone's got a problem with it, kiss my American ass.
If you don't think that that's a right, then you don't.
This is why if you take this video, every time Nick Fuentes says something stupid or fucked up or sexist, take a drink. You may end up with alcohol poisoning by the end of the video.
To call yourself America first, because
Yeah, I don't really watch any of Nick Fuentes' shit because after watching him on Sydney Watson and her co-host Eliza Schaefer's You Are Here, I was just like, who the fucking fuck is this Nick Fuentes cocksucker? And I looked him up. He's on the no-fly list. When you're saying shit like you support the Taliban, I can't imagine why you're on the no-fly list.
you're not America first anymore. You're America last. You're
If they can make a robotic sex doll that makes sandwiches when you put the ingredients in front of it, then Nick Fuentes would probably be happy as a motherfucker. If they can make a sex doll that did laundry and made your sandwiches, the sex robots of like fucking 2094 or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck off. Then Nick Fuentes will probably be jumping for joy. Except you couldn't get it pregnant. Oh. And people are in such a rush to get laid. And it's like, bro, just stop. And chill out. Get to know the chick. You know what I'm saying? I got a product that's guaranteed, okay, to make you smell good for the like women love the smell of tactical soap. Even though I haven't gotten laid, women love the smell of it. You know? And based off the reaction that I get from of age women, that's why I continue to wear it. But I'll take a 4-year dry spell over not ever trying it. You know, fuck Nick Fuentes. Like, if the dude wants to get laid, maybe you might want to reevaluate who you are as a person. But the damage has been done. You've already gone on record several times as this extremist right-wing cunt cocksucker asshole who sits there and you sit there and you suck Trump's cock and then sit there and say that women don't have the right to vote. Like, fuck you, dude.
America go bye-bye.
You know, maybe people that don't own property, young people, people that work like retail jobs. Like,
Sydney Watson looks like she's trying so hard not to laugh. Fuck Nick Fuentes. Okay, fuck him. Generously thank you to the generous donations in my PayPal earlier. I restocked on my tactical soap as I'm down to like the last 3 to 4 bars. Yes. I'm looking forward to getting that. So far, my 2 favorite scents are Bond number 1 and Maverick number 3.
An example. Really?
Cindy
Yeah.
Watson's losing it, man. She's
Yeah.
just laughing her ass off.
Retail jobs.
Well,
Okay,
or
we
like
can, I think we
service
can all get
jobs.
on board with that national movement.
Like, yeah, you don't have a right to, like, even that. No, you're stimulating the economy, but because of your profession, because you work at retail jobs, you shouldn't have the right to vote, according to Nick. What? These people are.
Oh, because you work fast food or a retail job, you shouldn't have the right to vote. Who the fuck is this guy, dude? Nah. Cheers to Sydney Watson. We got some Bird Dog Peach Whiskey with a splash of Mountain Dew. Although, if you want the perfect soda to mix with this, like cherry Dr. Pepper with Bird Dog Peach Whiskey, I've had it. It's fucking awesome. You try this combo and you're just like, the cherry and the peach go together. Just like, I'm sorry, but listening to Nick Fuentes spout this shit, not sorry, it makes my fucking head hurt. I'm just like, they make you people like you that stupid. Fucking Sydney Watson looks so uncomfortable. She's just like, oh my god.
Stimulating the economy. Why should they not have the ability to vote?
Yeah, because Nick Fuentes has that stereotypical extremist radical right wing 1% attitude that, oh, if you're not rich and blah blah, you know what I'm saying? Fuck him. Like, people who work the jobs that Nick Fuentes is too privileged to work, I guess. Nick Fuentes isn't going to go to some Wendy's or McDonald's and pick up a job. He's not. He's not going to go to fucking Walmart and get a fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Because being a fucking piece of shit who gets views strictly because the shit you say pisses people off. I'm just saying. I can say shit to piss people off too, dude. It doesn't take that much.
On policy that could very well affect them.
I mean, like if you own a business, if you own property, even if you're a homeowner, you kind of have an idea of like how things work, you know, like where things come from. And
Bullshit. Just because you own property, just because you have a business, you might understand how owning a property and owning a business might work, but you're not going to understand how everything works. The ability to know everything is impossible. And if you try to wrap your mind around this, it'll make your head go. Like, first of all, where was this glass made? Okay, let's be more specific. The people who are in charge of making Bird Dog Peach Whiskey, who makes it? Now, do you know the personal lives of every factory worker who is responsible for making this delicious, oh so yummy adult beverage possible? Are you gonna know what their favorite color is? or what their wife's mother's maiden name is. You know what I'm saying, YouTube? So you're not going to know everything or know how it all works. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nick Fuentes is a stupid motherfucker. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who makes the corks for these bottles? And does the factory worker have any allergies? Does their mother have any allergies? Oh, dude. I'm not gonna drink all of this because I want to have some of this with some cherry Dr. Pepper. So I may save on this. But I'm already starting to feel pretty. I'm already feeling pretty good, man.
No.
Some idea of like how the economy works. No, what? There are plenty of people that own homes that have no fucking idea how the economy works.
I'll drink to that. That's what I was just saying, dude. There are plenty of people who own property, own businesses, and they don't know jack shit about the economy. It really makes you think.
What if someone's a homeowner, but they're paying for their home by working a retail job? What then? Are they allowed to vote? Are they not allowed to vote? Do they have to ask you? It was, of course, propertied white men. It was a very narrow group of people that were able to vote. And that's because the founding fathers didn't really believe in mass democracy, universal suffrage. They believed in checks and balances, and kind of voting was a part of like, he is most likely bastardizing what the truth of the matter is that they were not in favor of this simple majority rule democracy type thing. But we don't have that. We have a democratic republic. President Andrew Jackson, champion of frontiersmen, helped advance the political rights of those who did not own property. By about 1860, most white men without property were enfranchised, but African Americans, women, Native Americans, non English speakers, and citizens. So, this is like another thing that Nick Fuentes doesn't understand because he doesn't want to understand because he's a piece of shit. You know how like conservatives fucking hate the statement that America is an idea? I don't care that they hate that statement because I think that it's actually a really good thing to think about. What Nick Fuentes doesn't understand is he has this idea in his head that there was this one time when America was just right. And that is completely arbitrary and subjective. It's because he's already a piece of shit. He's a racist and is sexist and is an incel and is mad at his mommy. I don't know that he thinks that America was better at this time when people couldn't vote. That was not like the founding fathers' perfect image of America. And now we've ruined it. That was instead America then, but America is also able to change and progress and evolve to further maximize the concept and the ideas that America was founded on. So America is ultimately, I bring this up every time, founded on concepts of the Enlightenment. That's what originally motivated the founding of America. America had these ideas from the very beginning. All men are created equal. We, the people, are the concept.
We can have a discussion about that. That would involve George Carlin. That all men are created equal, but we're going to enslave other men from other countries to do our work for us. Fuck you. No, I'm busting balls, but yeah, outside of that, I'm a proud American outside of the
That America was founded on. And those concepts remain true, but those concepts weren't being lived up to previously. So when they say all men are created equal, well, it doesn't really seem like you believe that if you're not letting certain people vote and have competent government and who's going to make those choices. And, we have to think competent people should be making those choices.
Quick, if I were to ask you, like, let's start with rights. Okay, let's start.
I gotta take a piss. Who the fuck is Nick Fuentes to talk about competent people? This Taliban support motherfucker. Fuck him. No, it kills me, YouTube. Because if someone told Nick Fuentes that only women should have the right to vote, he would probably fucking lose his shit. But here he is on this You Are Here Now podcast with Eliza Schaefer and Sydney Watson saying that he thinks that women shouldn't have the right. You know what I'm saying? Like blows my mind, dude.
Start with access to something very simple. Let's go to an amendment. Let's go to 19th Amendment. Right? Let's start there. Let's just start there.
Gone.
All right.
Gone.
All right.
Day
What do you
one.
thought? All right. Day one gone.
It shouldn't be there.
I have a
Shouldn't be there.
question though. Have you ever lived in any other country besides the United States?
Nope. So he wants.
Shocker, want to sniff it? Ugh. It's Friday, and I'm already like 15 minutes into this Hunter Avalon video response, and Nick Fuentes is he's a buzzkill, dude. Total fucking buzzkill. I'm just like, it's ridiculous. People are like, it's illegal to ship booze in the mail as long as the person getting it is old enough to drink. No, it ain't. I saw Terrence Pop and Toxic Mail unboxing booze that the fans sent them. And I'm just like, so therefore it's not, you know what I'm saying? Trolls are just sitting there trying to start shit, like as usual, like, oh, Cobra gets free booze just because he's King Cobra, and people think he's funny when he drinks. Of course, I'm funny without it too, but that's beside the point. Nick Fuentes can fuck off.
The 19th Amendment gone. Okay, cool. So he doesn't want women to have the right to vote. At least he said it, mask off. Cool. Great. I love when these fuckers get banned, because then we get to know what they really believe and they stop just trying to mask it, and it's really convenient for me.
Okay,
Just
so
America.
when you talk about many of these things, these are just from an observational standpoint where you've done a lot of reading and observed a bunch of things,
Yes.
and then arrived at your conclusions based on that.
Yes.
But you have no practical experience living under, say, a more authoritarian rule.
No, well, I mean, I already live under something like authoritarianism in America. You know, I'm on the no-fly list. I'm being persecuted. The thing is about
Authoritarianism, being on a no-fly list. Self-own right there, Nick. Domestic terrorists posting their L's online.
in America. You know, I'm on the no-fly list. I'm being persecuted. The thing is about authoritarianism is it
I'm a
can't be
martyr.
condemned in itself, you know, because the character of the regime isn't really authority. The authority is colored by the
Hold on.
people that are in authority.
Not to interrupt you, sorry, but just to back up for a second. So you're currently on a no-fly list based on the authoritarianism that's going on in the country.
Right.
Now, that authoritarianism, you could argue, is from the left, and the left are very happy that they had that authoritarianism.
She's trying to get him
So
on
what
some
you
agreements.
want is a right-wing authoritarianism.
Yes.
But your issue is with left-wing authoritarianism.
The problem is not authoritarianism.
So
the
what-
problem is leftism.
What about the people on the left who think of you and go, well, I don't want to live under his rule of law? Because obviously there are people who don't think like you
this
do.
is
We're
the
not a
essence
monolith.
of politics. This is the essence of politics: is that there is an us and there is a them. There
Sure.
are right-wing people and there are left-wing people, and you know.
Keep in mind there, that's a very fascistic form of argumentation as well. The us versus them, the separation of the groups to make it seem as if you are the one side fighting against the bad side. That's really common. That's one of the fascistic tendencies to look out.
Yes, but that's kind of how life works in general. It's good versus evil. But using it to argue your incelistic piece of shit views just makes you look desperate, dude. No, seriously, Nick Fuentes can fuck off. If a sexist female came up to him, just like the female version of Nick Fuentes, this feminazi, fucking man-hating cunt who thinks all men are assholes and they'll never change, walks up to Nick Fuentes and says men should not have the right to vote, that women should rule the society we live in. Nick Fuentes would fucking lose his shit. He'd be like, but he says it and doesn't see a problem with it. He doesn't see a problem with it. And I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, you two. For fuck's sake, you two. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, you fucking wanker.
To the left, this is essentially what conservatives have done because they're averse to rule. You know, like when conservatives get in control of Congress or the presidency, what do? Do they go aggressively like the left does and wield the bureaucracy and wield the Congress?
Listen to the dude. This guy is so fucking delusional. Do they go aggressive like the left does?
Then you got the radical left. You got the radical left trying to legalize some really nasty, inappropriate shit. I don't even want to say it because I'm in a good mood right now, and that was just thinking about it would kill my mood, make me angry, want to hood up, you know? Don't even get me started.
It's so funny because if you listen to lefties, they say the exact opposite. Whenever the left gets in power, they're so soft. They bend the knee. Meanwhile, when the right gets in power, they go and do everything they can. This
is why I'm a goddamn independent. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I am an independent. I support abortion and gun rights 1000%. A woman should have the right to an abortion, regardless of the government and the goddamn churches telling a woman what she can and can't do with her body. That's sexist.
But, like, be honest, I'm pretty sure the right is more aggressive than the left generally when it comes to government. I don't know. It's just it just really exposes that he's living in a little echo.
Let's be political about this for a second. Abortion should be legal in certain circumstances. Could you consciously say to yourself, as a doctor, you're going to force a woman to carry a dead baby to term and then make her push it out just to be like, oh, it's dead, you ain't going to raise it? The kind of trauma that would cause on a woman, okay? Like, F off, dude. Like, here's the thought. Nick Fuentes could fuck off. When Nick Fuentes pushes a child-sized shit out of his asshole, and his asshole is stretched 4 to 10 times beyond its capacity, and he experiences the pains of childbirth. You want to sit here and talk shit on women? I'm like, dude, if you wouldn't want your own mother being controlled by the Taliban and shit, then why would you wish that upon other people? You fucking insufferable cunt.
Here, or do they kind of just, well, we're going to cut your taxes, we're going to do this and that, and then the left comes in with a vengeance and they say we're going to use environmental regulations to take your gun rights, and we're going to use the IRS to go after.
You think Joe Biden's going to come after our guns when he famously said sometimes all you need is a double barrel shotgun? You're fucking retarded. First of all. And second of all, like, don't even get me started on politics, dude. Fucking the left could sit there and trash Donald Trump, but as soon as you call it fake news, it's all, oh, no, 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 you're lying. It's not fake news, it's the facts. But you start talking shit about Joe Biden, and like all of a sudden, now that's fake news. All the shit you talk about Biden, that's a fake news. That's fake news. Joe Biden wouldn't do that. Blah 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 blah. That's how politics works, dude. If you talk on someone else's guy, they get defensive and angry, but like, and say it's all fake news. But if you talk shit on the opposing person, they're all for it. Yeah. A lot of people let their hatred for Donald Trump corrupt their judgmental thinking, just like there's a lot of people who have this hatred for our current president, and it's stupid. People let their hatred blindside them and make stupid shit happen. And that's the thing of it, is it doesn't have to happen. Woo! No, I'm an independent. I support gun rights, marijuana legalization, abortion rights, women's rights, men's rights, gender equality.
What gun rights have the Democrats taken recently? Can anybody refresh my memory on that one?
Because even if Joe Biden were to technically say, oh, hey, we're going to ban AR-15s because that's a bad gun. What's going to stop somebody from 3D printing one in their basement? I think we should be allowed to keep AR-15s, but magazines are 30 rounds or less, no bump fire stocks, no fully automatic, no silencers, and stricter gun control for weapons like assault weapons, as far as like a longer background check. And you should have to be 21 and up to buy an AR-15. Because if I don't give a shit if it's a rifle, it shoots a pistol cartridge. If it shoots a pistol cartridge, then you should have to be 21 and up to buy it, because you have to be 21 in order to buy pistols. And it's unfortunate because AR-15s are like pit bulls. Not everyone who has one's a fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. How many times do you hear about these pit bulls attacking some kid, and everyone's just like, oh my God, this is why we gotta ban pit bulls. And I'm over here like, yeah, but there are plenty of people who have pit bulls, and they're responsible owners. Yeah, I love guns. I love shooting them on the range. I love supporting my Second Amendment rights. But whenever I hear about all these fucking mass shootings, it makes me sick to my goddamn stomach. Because people are the problem, not guns. People are the ones that made guns in the first place. Think about that, YouTube. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Ugh. Ah. That's gonna burn to it. I chihuahua. Ha ha. Oh. You know, I did a video a couple of days back. Bitching about nagging and incels. So in conclusion to that video, or like the silent treatment, I should say, in incels. Because the silent treatment isn't going to get the problem fixed, ladies. You're just going to make the problem worse because you're going to continue to be unhappy. Your dude's going to be sitting there guessing like an idiot. Oh, honey, why are you pissed off? And then you got these fucking incels who bitch because they can't get laid while they're sitting there saying that women shouldn't have the right to vote. I'm like, gee, I can't imagine, he said sarcastically. Holy shit.
I can think of is Donald Trump banning bump stocks. Doesn't the Constitution literally say a well-regulated militia? Like, doesn't it kind of allude to the ability for there to be like a level of regulation? Whatever. Where have they tried to use environmentalism to take your gun rights? What? They're trying to use climate change to take our guns. Next, they're going to take our penises and our anime.
Conservative nonprofits, and we're going to do this, and we're going to solidify our rule, and then we are going to set the tone for the country. And conservatives, then, you know, even like when Trump gets into office, it's like, what do we accomplish in the first 2 years? When we had Congress, we had the courts, we had the White House, we did a corporate tax cut, barely repealed Obamacare. That's about it. We should have built a wall. We should have went after the endowments for the universities. We should have targeted left-wing institutions. We should have opened up the libel laws and went after.
So Nick Fuentes is actually a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, where there are people that rather than recognizing the difference between politicians and activists, he wants politicians to be activists, but he's a step above that. He doesn't just want them to be activists. He wants them to be fucking authoritarian.
This is in principle wrong. I would say this is
Being an activist versus a politician, yes, you can be both. And I think staying active in the principles you believe in, your core beliefs, if you're a good motherfucker, you know.
right man for the job. This is a rightful ruler of America. And, you know, and I would be okay with that.
You know, you bring up Caesar, but didn't that end pretty poorly for them?
No, no, the
No,
empire,
The
no.
empire ended pretty poorly, I think.
Yeah, after like, you know, hundreds of years.
Well, we've been around for about 400. How many we got left?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's just it. The Roman Republic was around, and then it gave birth to a true empire ruled by a Caesar, and then you know they reached their.
So Nick Fuentes, whenever they bring up Rome, they always bring that one up. A lot of the times you'll hear conservatives say, this is why Rome fell. For some reason, they really like that one. I don't know. Either way, this is a massive L for Nick because he knows nothing about Rome. Because, for example, in Rome, they didn't even have the concept of race. So there were black people and white people living among each other. And as long as they were considered Roman, they were good. And he talks about Rome as this great, long-lasting society, a great grand empire. There was a hell of a lot of diversity in there. Whenever they bring up Rome, you can just laugh. Also, they'll try to say that it's the degeneracy then that led to the fall of Rome. Also not true. There were economic pressures. They were in multiple different wars. There were all kinds of political pressures at the time also. There is just, he's making up shit. He's basically just talking out of his ass. It sounds nice to be like, well, Rome lasted a long time. And when you think of Rome, you think of white people. So Rome was white, lol, but like he knows nothing.
Their zenith under the empire, so I don't necessarily think that's the worst thing in the world.
I just find it interesting though that you're you know promoting these ideas having not ever lived under them. I just find that
Yes. Sydney Watson, thank you. You want to promote these ideas, yet you've never had to live underneath them. Fucking. Dude, I gotta go out and have some pipe tobacco, YouTube. Just a couple puffs off my pipe tobacco. Get some nicotine in my system. I guarantee you, if Nick Fuentes had to live like women did in Sharia law, he would fucking hate it. He wouldn't be sitting here promoting these fucking asshole ideologies. It gets to the point where it's just like, okay, I've had whiskey and I'm still feeling like, my head. This guy's a fucking idiot. Some nicotine. Nick Fuentes can fuck off, YouTube. Oh, wait. It's like these fucking slag hags who fucking bitch because they can't get a man. They're on Tinder looking and they can't find the right one. But they hate men. And I'm like, that's why women who are crazy cat ladies who hate men can't find a man, is because you hate them. Your hatred has made you reclusive against the opposite sex. And if Nick Fuentes doesn't hate his mother, why does he hate women? Is the bigger question. There we go. That's a fucking beautiful sound. You know, Nick Fuentes can suck Elliot Rogers' dick, as far as I'm concerned. The incel piece of shit. This is why we gotta stop treating sex like it's a need. Look at that asshole, Elliot Rogers. Literally killing a bunch of people because he couldn't get laid. I'm like, dude, if you're driving in sports cars, you're a YouTube celebrity and you're driving in sports cars and you can't get laid, that's on you, dude.
It's odd to say let's paint the entire house blue when you've never seen a blue house.
Well, I mean, Sydney Watson is making like the absolutely worst, most dog shit argument imaginable here, which is to be expected, because she said,
Of course, Hunter Avallone is more of a leftist, and Sydney Watson leans towards the right. So, of course, he's going to talk shit. That's actually a very fair argument. When you look at it from an independence perspective, are you going to paint your house blue without seeing what a blue house looks like? That's not a dog shit argument. That's actually a very fair point.
so the fact that he just said so much bullshit, so much shit that you could rip into. Come on. Aren't you in favor of America? Call him out on how voting is a right, and that's not very American. There you go. You have a little call out right there, Sydney. Instead, she's like, why are you advocating?
Because calling them out on their bullshit is too easy. Maybe you want to challenge them to an argument. Because making like little cheap comebacks like, well, you call yourself an American, but you think voting's not a right. You un-American piece of shit. Fucking ridiculous, dude. Maybe instead of going for like the cheap, oh, I got you, I fucking, I'll insult you and call you out on your bullshit. Sometimes not doing that and like just asking more questions, it gets you to have a conversation, but it also makes the other person look like a bigger asshole. It just feels like the world we live in is getting stupider and stupider by the minute. And alcohol and the delta 8, 9, 10 is not enough to comprehend the madness and stupidity that is our society. When I was a kid, if I would have been caught eating the teacher's chalk off the chalkboard, they would have sent me to special ed. But now it's an AMR chalk eating ASMR carving video on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm just like, what Sydney Watts is doing is she's keeping the guest comfortable in his shoes, asking questions, because if people start getting defensive, then they hide their true colors. No, like seriously, Nick Fuentes, your mother is a woman. I'm sure you love your mother, even though she pushed a piece of shit out of her cunt. That's exactly how it is, Nick Fuentes. Your mother birthed a piece of shit out of her cunt. And even though I'm autistic and I'm a little weird, at least I respect women. That's why I'm getting more pussy than Nick Fuentes. I may be going through a 4-year dry spell, but at least I've gotten some. It's the truth, dude. And there are a lot of dudes out there who haven't gotten laid, who respect women, but they grew up not having the most confidence in themselves. That's different. The only reason why Nick Fuentes can't get laid is because of his own shitty actions. Women are looking at this going, no, seriously, Nick Fuentes, let me ask you a question, dude. Would you fuck a woman who thinks that men should not have rights, that women are superior? Would you do it? And if you say yes because you want to get laid, you're a fucking hypocrite, because I guarantee you no woman wants to fuck you because of the way you view women, dude. It's just like my fucking trolls who are telling me you need to get laid. And I'm like, yeah, because my trolls are totally getting mad pussy when they're harassing a 30-year-old autistic. You know what's sad? Is that my trolls, the majority of them wish they could be me. They all wish they could be me. Otherwise, they wouldn't text me. Otherwise, they wouldn't try so hard to fuck with me. Oh, yeah, Cobra's at Frosty's enjoying his Halloween. Let's try to fucking harass, stupid shit like that. I'm gonna bitch slap Nick Fuentes. Might as well bitch slap my trolls while we're at it. Oh, yes. And I'll tell you what, Nick Fuentes can fuck off when he's had to face the suffrage that women have had to face for the last, I don't know, maybe for the next 600 years. If men faced oppression like women have faced, it'd be a different argument, wouldn't it? No way. The Contra Avalon doesn't even watch the whole thing.
Authoritarianism, if you've
Can't
never
say I blame him.
lived under it,
That's such a, it's, it's odd to say, let's paint the entire house blue when you've never seen a blue house.
Well, I mean, do I need to go to Russia to?
Yes, probably.
Why? I mean, why?
I mean,
This is just
I'll give you an
bull.
example. A very good friend of mine who I've known for about 10 years
Oh.
used to be very much like you, actually.
No, Sydney. Ah! The worst, dude. Yeah, you do need to live there, actually. You need to go live in Soviet Russia because I have a friend that. What's the meme music? Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I mean, I know this might trigger Hunter Avalon, and people might be like, "Oh my God, Cobra, you're just simping for Sydney Watson." But fuck all of you. Sydney Watson made a very fair point. You want to support these ideologies, try living in that country before you make that decision.
Dun,
And
dun,
he,
dun.
he's someone who used to really, really prop up authoritarianism. He used to, and he still believes this in part, that people do need.
Even with a dog shit rebuttal, she's owning him hella hard. I'm sorry. Thus far, I don't feel like Nick Fuentes is getting owned. I feel as though he's having a rather non-confrontational conversation with Sydney Watson and getting minimal pushback while being able to freely spew as much bullshit as possible. And then
And by doing that, it just makes him look stupider. Nick Fuentes is literally getting owned in this. Being allowed to spew all this crazy nonsense bullshit just makes him look stupider. And if you pay attention to the way Sydney Watson reacts to his bullshit, you're just like, she looks really uncomfortable, like she could use a stiff drink.
being the most mild, tepid little, but you've never lived under Hitler.
To be governed to a large extent because people, left alone are morons. And that's not saying necessarily that I even disagree with. I think your average person is probably as dumb as a bag of rocks. However, he moved to Singapore, which you could argue is not the worst place in the world. Obviously, it's quite clean. People, follow the law. The crime rate is reasonably low. But after about 2 years of living in Singapore, where they
Speed it
knock on
up.
your door, and this has happened to him, where he got dogged
Speed it up. Go start your storytelling channel. We don't care about your friend in fucking Singapore.
by his neighbors for having water on his balcony, and they said it's causing a mosquito problem. Now we're at your house, prepared to fine you over mosquitoes. He said to me, I hate living in this country. I hate the authoritarianism here. I hate the way that things operate, because coming from Australia, he's an Aussie. He was like, I much prefer the way that we do things back home, or at least, the freedom that we have. And living in a country where that's staunched in some capacity was really, and is, and continues to be very bothersome and trying for him. And so I just find it interesting, though, that you've only ever lived in the United.
Are you listen, yeah, women should be put in their place. Get rid of the 19th Amendment. Voting isn't a right. And I'm America first, by the way. And then her response is, well, I had a friend that didn't like that they lived under some authoritarianism because someone showed up to say that they're not allowed to have a water on their porch because it was attracting mosquitoes. Look at this from Nick's perspective and also from an audience and like optical perspective,
Well,
right?
from my perspective, Sydney Watson makes a very fair point. Is Nick Fuentes wants to live underneath an totalitarian dictatorship, basically. And Sydney Watson says, well, I have a friend who's going through that, and they say they hate it. I mean, what's hard to comprehend that? I think a lot of this disagreement from Hunter Avalon's part is just because Sydney Watson's conservative for the most part. I don't know these days. But Hunter Avalon is more Democrat, and I feel like the only reason why Hunter Avalon is, which this is why I subscribe to a number of channels. Uh, I watch people that are politically left and politically right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm an independent like that. Friday, Bird Dog Whiskey, motherfucker. Not a sponsor, but that's just good free advertisement.
Here you have a guy who is saying some of the most vitriolic and sexist shit that's like been heard of since fucking 1970, and yet you have minimal pushback, and you also have really bad arguments being given to try and counter all of his bullshit. So
It's not bad arguments. I will agree with Hunter Avalone that Nick Fuentes is bullshit, is the sexist fucking worst shit that anyone's ever heard since like the 70s or 50s or whatever. Yes, Nick Fuentes' thinking is outdated. But if you're in such a rush to make comebacks instead of let's have a discussion, let's talk about this, you know what I'm saying? By the end of the video, you're gonna see that Nick Fuentes is the biggest fucking piece of shit. If you can't already tell, and then Sydney Watson, even though she wanted to like fire back with some comebacks and be like, you know, she made one comeback. So how's your relationship with your mother? That comeback was good, and it's like comebacks like that are good for that reason alone. You got Nick Fuentes just crapping all over women, and the first thing you assume is, well, here's a guy who's never had sex with a woman, and he seems to hate women. Gee, I wonder, how's your relationship with your mother?
not only do you have Nick Fuentes, who like somehow is winning this debate with this fucking shitty ass with his shitty ass ideas, he's also winning the not I don't want to say the audience because optically it's really bad. Like his
Hunter Avalon, bro. Nick Fuentes ain't winning shit. If you think Nick Fuentes is winning this debate with Sydney Watson, you're fucking retarded. Because anyone can sit there and be like, oh, comeback after comeback after comeback after comeback. It takes a level of maturity to be like, okay, this person's a piece of shit. Let's have a conversation about it. Even though every instinct in your body is screaming, fuck him. That's the truth. That's the truth. I can't imagine why Nick Fuentes has a hard time getting a girlfriend. You know, because if there was a female who had the same opinions about men as Nick Fuentes has about women, you'd have the crazy cat lady, feminazi cunts who hate women kind of thing. Yes, Nick Fuentes is like the male version of the crazy cat lady feminazi who hates men. He is the male version of that. I'm like, dude, everyone struggles with shit. You know, you want to struggle because you want to like throw a fit because you're struggling to get laid. Join the club. And pieces of shit like you are not helping the arguments. When people are sitting there going, well, all of you men are just violence and rapists and blah, blah, blah. And here's Nick Fuentes saying that women shouldn't have the rights of, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, you're not helping the situation, Nick. You're just making it worse. And Sydney Watson being like, you know, I'm going to be more mature about this instead of coming with the comebacks and then well, you know, the occasional, oh, that's a really good burn and awesome question. So, like, I actually respect Sydney Watson a lot more for this, just because, you know, when you got someone like Nick Fuentes being a piece of shit, and it's just like, oh, and you come back with, like, comebacks are easy to do. Insulting and talking shit. And you could tell us that several times, just the look on Sydney Watson's face. She wanted to get mad. She wanted to laugh. She wanted to be like, what the fuck is your problem, you stupid incel piece of shit? But she didn't. She kept it together, like, okay, so what makes you think this? And as somebody who, Sydney Watson wants to be a journalist, and if you're interviewing people, sometimes you got to keep your personal opinions to yourself unless you want to like insert it into your article later. Otherwise, you got no story. You piss off the host, no matter how fucked up they are. It's, and it sucks because you got to kiss ass to the person you're interviewing to some degree. That's why Sydney Watson didn't come do a whole ton of comebacks, even though Sydney Watson had several opportunities to do so. And you got Nick Fuentes challenging that with his stupid bullshit. Because, like, Nick Fuentes doesn't want women to have the right to vote, which means he doesn't want his mother to have the right to vote. Because that's the thing of it, Nick. When you're sitting there saying you don't want women to have the right to vote, that's basically like saying you don't want your own mother to have the right to vote. You piece of shit. Now I seen Nick Fuentes going off on Hunter Avalon. And I'm like, dude, Nick Fuentes is so jealous of Hunter Avalon, it's not even funny. I'm like, Hunter Avalon has a wife, he has kids, he's living the family life, which is something that Nick Fuentes wants very desperately, but only because of society's grooming, because society likes to groom people into these ideologies. Oh, god damn it, Nick Fuentes. You have no idea how good getting pussy feels. I'll take a 4-year dry spell over your bullshits. And while you're sitting there fucking crying yourself to sleep, like all these fucking feminazi cunts who can't get laid either because they hate men just like you hate women, wah. I'll be sitting here going, at least I've got the experiences. Like, I feel sorry for Nick Fuentes' parents. You want to talk shit on women, but you know what kills me about that, Nick? How many people talk shit on the Spanish and like people from your race? Because he's not fully white. He has some Spanish, Mexican kind of ancestry. And like, that's what kills me about it is like Nick Fuentes' ancestry has had to deal with their own crap. But like, it's cool if you fucking talk shit on women. Fuck you, dude. You're the worst. Knowing that Nick Fuentes is never going to find a woman and that he will die alone, miserable, old, and bitter, that no woman will ever fucking touch him. He'll never get to feel the warm touch of a woman's hand. Once, I want to share a fond memory of mine. Back when I was dating my last girlfriend, my other female friend came over and she happened to know my girlfriend. We were just hanging out. And like right in the middle of the conversation, my girlfriend at the time just took my head and shoved it into her cleavage. And then my friend Winona said, "Josh has boobs in his face. He's happy." And I was like, yes. And Nikki, old boy, let me tell you something. When your girlfriend is sitting on your lap and she just sees another female and instinctively feels this compelling urge to shove your face into her boobs, regardless if they're out or not, like that's mine, kind of thing. It is an amazing feeling. Dude, my buddy Randy Travis deserves a girlfriend more than you do, you piece of shit.
Positions, he's able to get so much of his ideas out. He's able to virtually freely spread his ideas. This is a win-win for Nick Fuentes. And then on top of that,
Not really. Depending on how you look at it, Hunter. You see it from the independent's perspective, not as you're a Democrat who disagrees with Sydney because she's conservative kind of thing. What Sydney Watson did was take the more mature response and be like, okay, so why do you think this? And just continue like, doesn't phase me. This guy's a piece of shit. Gonna totally ignore it.
we also now have him saying sexist stuff about women aren't smart enough to vote or whatever. And then you have a woman who's not giving very smart responses, looking really uncomfortable. And then you look at the comments.
She's uncomfortable because she wants to say some shit. You think Sydney Watson didn't want to fire off with "fuck you, Nick Fuentes, you stupid fucking incel cunt"? You think she didn't want to fire off with that crap? Well, she's on her friend Eliza Schaefer's podcast, so she had to keep it professional. And on top of that, we live in a society where everyone's getting judged for everything we do. So, like, she didn't want to get judged as this fucking crazy psycho chick who hates blah blah blah, whatever. So I honestly, I'm not just saying this because I think Sydney Watson's cute. I'm being real. I think Sydney handled that situation as professional as possible. And then several weeks later, you got some guy saying "fuck you" to Sydney Watson, and again she just sits there and says, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, man. Shit."
Arguing against Nick's stance on women while literally fitting every single female stereotype is wonderful. I'm not saying it. That was the comment. I'm just saying, think of it from an audience/optical perspective, okay?
Capacity was really, and is, and continues to be very bothersome and trying for him. And so I just find it interesting, though, that you've only ever lived in the United States. I just, you can only do so much reading before practical experience actually should take, some sort of precedence. And I mean, I say the same thing about women too. I mean,
What? Okay, what? Sydney? Oh God, dude. Get me in the ring with these people. Sydney, you're making critical race theory arguments right now. That's the next one, guys. Listen, next time conservatives bring up an anecdotal experience, just say, why are you making critical race theory arguments? You know how critical race theory all about, like, oftentimes prioritizing the personal experience. When they say personal experience,
Critical race theory. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just fucking love it when you got white people who bitch about critical race theory. Like, you're white as a motherfucker. You're not even remotely black. You've never had to experience what Mexicans and blacks and minorities have had to experience. And you want to bitch about critical race theory. Okay. Okay.
takes precedent. Why are you making critical race theory argument? Why are you arguing right now like a bedroom feminist from 2016 that's saying
there's nothing wrong with critical race theory. Critical race theory, in my opinion, means that there is racism in our histories, and that racism is passed on down to generations of people. This kind of relates back to what Martin Luther King Jr. said in some way. Like, why can't whites and blacks, Jews, Christians, and Catholics all just get along? Who gives a shit? As long as you ain't a sicko. You feel me, YouTube? And when you have a bunch of black people who have had nothing but shit experiences with whites producing a black child who is new to the world and the world's ignorances, and you have a white family doing the same thing, producing a white child who has no ignorance towards race or any of that shit. These two children could grow up to be the best of friends, but instead they grow up to hate each other because the world we live in is so full of hatred. A little bit of hatred gives you backbone, but too much hatred, it just makes you a fucking asshole.
White man, you're not allowed to think like that. Or you didn't experience this. My lived experience takes precedent to the
say from my understanding of me.
Well, you're a white person too, Hunter. I'm not trying to be a dick, but when's the last time Hunter Avalone got sprayed by a black cop simply for just being white and existing?
Points. You also promote like the way of interacting with women, and I go, have you been in a relationship with a woman?
No.
So how are you telling other people how to behave towards women when you yourself have not had any actual physical, interaction with them?
So Sydney Watson, using the blue house argument, applied that same logic when asking Nick Fuentes, if you've never been in a relationship with a woman and yet this is how you view women, how do you you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you expect to like? Because I guarantee you, if Nick Fuentes' mom was being treated like this, he'd lose his shit. He'd be like, how dare you? That's my mother, you piece of shit. But yet he has no problem talking this way about other women. Keep in mind, Nick Fuentes, your mother is the same gender as the gender you're talking shit on. You want to talk shit on women, but you forget, Nick Fuentes, that your mother is a woman too. Mm. Bird Dog Peach Whiskey and Cherry Dr. Pepper. It's literally one of my favorite combos. It's delicious. Next time I go to order Sody Pop, I'll order some Cherry Dr. Pepper and kind of save a couple cans for when I get some of the Bird Dog Peach. I mean, Bird Dog Peach Whiskey and Mountain Dew by itself mixed together is delicious, but Cherry Dr. Pepper and Bird Dog Peach Whiskey is just simply heaven, YouTube. It's the combination that just makes your taste buds go, mm. Speaking of alcohol, I don't honestly think there's enough alcohol to make this asshole Nick Fuentes make sense. There's not enough alcohol in the world to make me comprehend the stupidity of it.
In a romantic capacity, or in fact in any capacity where you uphold them in a way that treats them with respect. I mean, if you're out here arguing that women are basically half the value of, no, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth because that's not right. But if you are looking to some other regimes around the world that do think that women are half the value of a man, I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to basically promote these ideas.
Well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now, and I've had lots of experiences with women in my life, not
Oh, yeah. You sound like you've had a lot of experiences with women.
per se, but I've talked to enough women. I've been in, I don't think Sydney Watson knows how to like deal with this guy. Well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now. Jesus.
And I agree with Hunter Avalone. Super cringe. You got fucking Nick Fuentes, dumbass, who's sitting there talking to Sydney Watson like, well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now. No. Nick Fuentes can piss off. Segue.
The demon eyes, dude. Look at Sydney Watson's face right here.
Demon eyes. You haven't seen demon eyes. No, you haven't. You haven't seen demon eyes.
Damn. She looks almost as shocked as if she saw a trans person.
in a way that treats them with respect. I mean, if
Okay, really, 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 because Blair White was on the same show a couple episodes back, and Sydney Watson appeared totally cool with it. This assumption that, oh my God, you're conservative, you're automatically going to be a transphobe. Like, shut the fuck up, dude.
you're arguing that women are basically half the value of, no, I'm not going to put words in your mouth because that's not right.
Hmm.
But, if you are looking to some other regimes around the world that do think that women are half the value of a man, I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to basically promote these ideas.
Well, I'm having
That's exactly my point, Sydney. Thank you. Thank you. Sydney Watson said it best. You have a dude who thinks that women are half the value of a man, and on top of that, they've had no experience with women, like none, zero zip, no sexual intercourse, no nothing, no relationships, just straight stone cold nothing. And it's like, what gives Nick Fuentes the right to comment on how women should be treated, let alone how the world works? People are always criticizing me like, Cobra, you haven't had pussy in 4 years. What gives you the right? And I'm like, I got more say on the issue than this Nick Fuentes faggot, dude. Like, fuck off.
I'll be honest, as much as I hate the anecdote argument, I just fucking shat on it. I can appreciate the anecdote being used against him here. And instead of, well, I have a friend who blah, 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 you've never had an experience at all with women or with a woman. So who are you to be determining how women should live or if women are smart enough or have the ability to fucking vote? It's still a weaker argument, and I think that you can make a better one. But all things considered, it makes Nick look like the incel that he is.
Experience with a woman right now, and I've had lots of experiences with women in my life, not romantically per se, but I've talked to enough women. I've been, I've known enough women to know sort of what's going on. I think
Do you fucking hear this fucking Nick Fuentes piece of shit? Do you fucking hear this shit, YouTube? This Nick Fuentes piece of shit. Oh yeah, I've met enough women and had enough experiences to kind of know what's going on. I'm like, dude, okay, it's not about, I'm not trying to be a dick about this, YouTube, but if you haven't had sex or gotten a blowjob or any social interaction of that nature from at least 9 to 10 women, then I don't want to hear your opinion on shit, dude. If you're some fucking incel piece of shit going on fucking Sydney Watson and Eliza Schaefer's podcast, saying you understand women, but you've never had sex. And I'm like, two things. One, women are more than just sex. And two, you're an idiot. Anyone who sits there and says that they don't understand why they can't get a girlfriend, but you're on this podcast with fucking Sydney Watson and Eliza Schaefer saying you don't think women should have the right to vote. Gee, guy, I can't imagine why you can't get laid. A big shout out to the fans who donated to my PayPal. I appreciated it. Ordered me some more tactical soap. I'm down to like my last 2 to 3 bars. And I bought a bottle of Bird Dog Peach Whiskey. No, I'm not saying that if you're a dude and you have a bunch of sex that automatically makes you an expert, because women are more than just the sex you have with them, dude. They're the emotions, the people, the feelings. They're people too, god damn it. And I'm not just fucking saying that, dude. I'll fucking drink to that, ladies. That's how it is. Of age women like the way I smell when I wear tactical soap, so I ordered more of it. Yeah. Nick Fuentes can fuck off. Hmm.
And who is observant enough. And honestly, you know, like I said, we could go back to great geniuses. We could go back to people that have been in relationships. Like a perfect example.
This isn't an anecdote. This is the topic of conversation. How can you say you understand women when you've never interacted with one?
That's my whole point, Nick. Nick Fuentes. How you gonna sit there and say you understand women when you don't even i- interact with them? It's because you're thinking with that typical guy mentality. If you ain't getting pussy out of the deal, then what's the deal? What's the Stop thinking with your dick and start thinking with the head on your shoulders, and watch what happens. You know, you respect women because you want to, because women deserve respect just as much as men do, not because you're trying to get laid. And watch what happens. You rock some tactical soap and treat women like goddesses. You don't necessarily worship the ground you walk on or they walk on, but you treat them right. You know, see what happens, dude. All your guy friends are gonna give you shit. Oh, you're just simping. And then when it actually happens the way you want it to happen, all the trolls can do is suck your dick and talk shit even more.
I don't know. I would have to think about if that's a fair argument or not. I don't feel like it is though. I feel like that's saying like who are you to talk about like crime rates if you've never been a criminal, or who are you to talk about firefighters if you've never talked to a fireman? Like it's sometimes like there are other ways that you can come to certain conclusions. Although I will agree that if you're going to have these conclusions, it would help if you also had experience with women.
Example is like the pickup artists. You know,
You saying they have a harder time than the pickup artist? See, a pickup artist is more than just a big cock, big muscles, and good looks. If he's got the personality and he knows how to fucking treat women, and having the personality just simply means the woman you're trying to pick up on shares similar interests. It's basic dating BS 101. But it's the truth, YouTube. You got Nick Fuentes, who hasn't had any experience with any woman telling other people how to treat women, and it just comes off as super cringe, dude. Super fucking cringe. Aye. That'll do it. What the whiskers. Oh, dude, you mix it with the Mountain Dew and or any other soda pop. There's certain soda pops that would not mix with this. Like Sprites. I mean, I would drink it if you mix Sprite and whiskey, but it'd be a weird combo with peach. Hmm. Pipe smoker packing his pipe. Yes. If I were allowed to smoke indoors, you already know. You go out for some more pipe tobacco.
Notice the pickup artists who have the most relationships with women and the most sex. What they say is that
You know what's funny about the whole pickup artist thing? Is that when I wear tactical soap, I don't even have to throw pickup lines, dude. I go to the bar. If I go to the bar wearing tactical soap, having a drink, just doing my thing, playing it chill, like I've been saying in this entire video, Cobra's method of dating. Chill out, play it cool, and wait patiently, and rock tactical soap and believe in yourself, kind of thing. Yes, it works. I get to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm a little tipsy. I gotta take a beer piss, kind of thing, just like I do on camera. I get up in the bar and I walk by as many women as I can while I'm wearing the tactical soap before I go into the men's room to piss, so that every woman I walk by at the bar gets a whiff of that tactical soap, regardless if they're taken or not. The ones that aren't taken are gonna be like, "Hey," and the ones that are taken are gonna be like, "Hey," sitting there wishing their man smelled like that. And that's just kind of how it is. You know, people were like, oh, that's King Cobra JFS. He wears the Bond tactical soap. That's kind of my shtick. Bond number one. I love that soap. I've been wearing it religiously for the last couple of years. And women like the smell of it, dude. I got women I crush on or think that are cute that are of age. And even if they're taken, they get a whiff of me and they're like, that dude smells good. And I'm like, that's the kind of shit you can't bargain with. Like that's the tactical soap's the real deal, dude. One day I'm gonna meet a really hot goth chick who just loves the smell of my soap, and it's gonna happen. You just wait and see. Of age, cisgendered. So, like, yeah, Nick Fuentes is just the absolute worst. I'm sitting here sipping some whiskey, watching some Hunter Avalon. Like, eh, at some point, it's just exhausting. Mm. Like, if Nick Fuentes is jealous because Hunter Avalon has a wife and kids, something he does not have, then maybe you could be like, oh, gee, golly willikers, how does Hunter Avalon do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, enough words have been said. Like, tactical soap is the real deal, my dudes. You want a pheromone soap that makes women go, God damn, that dude smells good. And I mean more than just, okay, you're wearing some Irish Springs or some Axe body wash. And they're like, oh, that dude smells good. Versus that dude really smells good. Because tactical soap is designed to get a woman's estrogen going. And when you wear it, it gets her estrogen going and it makes her pussy wet when you wear it. That's basically what Grondike soap does. And women don't have to try that hard to make a man horny, so this just evens the playing field. Plus, women are always complaining about how stinky men are, about how us men smell bad. But with tactical soap, you ain't gonna smell bad, my dude. In fact, I ordered some today or the other day, and it'll get here when it gets here. Yeah. Nick Fuentes is the worst.
really with women, it's the same bag of tricks to seduce a woman or whatever. And I think that kind of tells you something about the nature of women.
Nick Fuentes, seducing women is not the same as seducing men. While there are some similarities, to a degree, some similarities, women are seduced by different things. Or really, all a woman has to do it to seduce a man is wear a bra and panties that make her shit look good. Whereas a man has to wear an entire fucking three-piece business suit and look like he's making some big bucks. That's what turns women. You know what's strange about that? Is like less clothes will turn men on and more clothes will turn women on. Funny how that works out. Like if a man comes home from a long day and he sees his wife in her underwear bent over doing something, the first thing he's going to think is, oh yeah. But like fucking chicks, on the other hand, you know, it's different for women and dudes. That's honestly how I feel. I mean, I could be wrong in this aspect that women are turned on more by a man in a business suit than some shirtless dude. But that's just my personal opinion. Nick Fuentes is the worst. I'll do this entire video. No matter how much whiskey I got left. Mix it with some Mountain Dew so I can drink it. But I'm fixing to go out for some pipe tobacco. Yeah. Nick Fuentes is the worst, dude. People are calling me an in-cel, and I'm like, have you seen Nick Fuentes? Nick Fuentes is the definition of in-cel, dude. And it's just disgusting. Mm, mm. Oh, wait. The video is like 49 minutes. I'll watch the entire video that Hunter Avalon did and interject my 2 cents. Because that's all I can do. But Nick Fuentes is the worst, dude. Mm. Mm. Gotta take a piss. Ugh. Let's take a break from this. I'll be right back.
Attract really shallow women? Like,
Pickup artists in general can attract women. It doesn't matter if they're shallow. I can't watch any more of this. If you want to check out the entire video, you can check it out here. Cheers to the Friday, YouTubes. It's almost 11. I'm gonna finish the rest of this drink and go to sleep. Catch you later.